Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So it's been a while since I've actually just sat in front of the camera and kind of just talked to you guys. I decided to do a little Snapchat Q&A. I don't know why I'm always like nervous when I do the Q&A videos. But yes, I asked you guys to send me your questions via Snapchat, and if you guys aren't following me on Snapchat, totally cool, you don't have to. But if you want to, I always link my social media links down below in the description box, so give your girl a follow if you want. So I don't really want to drag out this intro, so let's just jump right into it. I hope my volume, let me just make sure my volume's on.
Hey Catherine, this is Crystal calling from California. Well, I'm not really calling, but snapping. But I wanted to ask you, when are you and your man getting married?
That's a good question. So you guys know I really don't talk about like well, okay. You guys know I don't really talk about my fiance a whole lot or our relationship. I've never have, especially like over social media and stuff. We've been together even before I started doing YouTube and all of that. And I just made that decision when I started doing all of this. I just didn't want to put too much of my personal life out there, but I don't mind sharing some information. For those of you who don't know, I am engaged and very excited and very happy. And I will say that the wedding is not until next year, late summer. We do have a date and everything, but I don't want to give out too much information. I definitely will be giving more information though as I go along. But yeah, the wedding is set for next year, late summer. I asked for either or as far as text questions or video questions. I know not everybody wants to be in a video that may be viewed by this, number of people, so it's totally cool. So this one was a text question. Oh wait, this is a personal one. Okay, anyway, moving on. Let's go.
If you could only have two things in your kit, what would they be?
Oh.
And why?
Oh my god, that's super hard. Okay, if I could only have two things in my kit, what would they be? Okay, I think I got it. Hold on, I think I got it. Okay, one of the things, if I could only have two things in my kit, would be my Bobbi Brown, the BBU palette. You guys have heard me talk about this before because it has concealers and all of these foundations, and I don't think this should be considered cheating because you didn't say like what specific item type. So this is one item, so this would be one of them. I think I made a really good choice with that one. The BBU kits, I have all foundations, colors, concealers, and stuff in there, so I could do pretty much a full face. And then the other thing would maybe be, I'm really gonna say this, but I was gonna say either between eyelashes or a brow pencil, but honestly it would probably be a brow pencil. One of my favorite parts of the makeup application is brows. Brows can just change everything, so I'm gonna have to go with the BBU palette and probably a taupe brow pencil because it's universal. Adela Love 14 says this right here, so we can all shit. I'd love to meet you too one day. Okay, so question is, what is your skin? She has multiple ones. What is your skin type? My skin type, if you haven't caught me mentioning it before, I'm oily. And what foundations, primers, etc. do you recommend for someone who has oily combination skin? So luckily this is my area of expertise. So as far as foundation, you can't go wrong with something that's labeled oil-free, of course, and matte, or something that says poreless, something that is gearing towards someone that has larger pores or oily skin. Personally, if you want something from the drugstore, the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation has never let me down, to be honest with you. It is so good, especially when you prime with the Nivea Men Aftershave Balm, the sensitive one. I'm sure you guys have heard this combination all over YouTube, but to be honest with you, that combination, at least for me, is bulletproof. It is amazing. That is just the best, and the fact that they're both drugstore products, you can't beat that. If you want to go more high end, then I would recommend the Benefit Matte Rescue. That one actually does a great job at keeping you very matte. The consistency is actually very similar to the Nivea Men Aftershave Balm. And for foundation, the Marc Jacobs, let me get it because it's actually just right here. The Marc Jacobs Remarkable Foundation is amazing as well, especially if you like full coverage.
And what product could I use in my foundations to make it like, you know, dewy but not too dewy because I'm kind of oily for my T-zone. So my question is, how do you find the right color foundation? Because I seem to find one that's too dark or too light for me.
Those are good questions. I get asked that a lot. Sometimes I don't know if I'm the best to answer that question, and I know that sounds funny, but only because I'm someone that I tend to, on myself, always want to match myself maybe a shade darker, but that's just me. But honestly, the best way to match your foundation, when you're looking at a range of colors, don't go by the number of colors. Like, usually foundations are labeled maybe like from 1 to, let's say, 10, for example. 1 being the lightest, 10 being the darkest. Don't go based on the number. So like, let's say, I'm gonna use myself as an example, as a really good way that sometimes people can be a little misled when looking for their foundation color. If I walk into a makeup store and I wanna just go by the number, considering that I am on the more fair side, I'm probably gonna eliminate anything maybe like from 4 to 10, because I'm thinking the number 4 to 10 is greater, meaning it has to be darker. And then I'm limiting myself to maybe shades 1 to 3, which isn't necessarily the case all the time. I tell people, do not look at the number. Don't feel like, oh my God, because I'm looking at shades 6 and 5 or whatever, I'm probably gonna be way off. Like, it has to be too dark because I should be in this range. Don't look at foundations like that. You are probably gonna be limiting yourself to your options. You should look at foundation shades strictly by color. Let your eye do the matching. Don't let your brain do it as far as the number. Don't go by the numbers. Just look at the pure color itself. Sometimes it's even best to like maybe mix around the colors and swatches a little bit. You can actually find your true match. And when you're swatching, don't swatch on like anywhere up here. I like to swatch on the jaw because that way I can see how it's going to coincide with the neck. And also I have it relatively close to shoulders and décolleté, which I love to match my clients to their shoulders or their décolleté. Nothing's worse than having a really light face and a darker body. Personally, you can always get away with having a foundation that's slightly darker, especially if you do highlighting and contouring, because the highlighting will usually self-adjust the foundation shade and it actually will balance everything out. And as far as having a luminous foundation look that doesn't make you oily, definitely go with those illuminators that aren't really meant for hydration. They're literally just meant for illuminizing. So I love the Kevyn Aucoin Celestial Skin lighting fluid. I hope I'm saying that right. You always say I'm saying it wrong. That's just a basic illuminizer you can either mix in with your foundation or you can just put it on before your foundation, and it literally gives you a luminous look. Or the Benefit Girl Meets Pearl Luminizer works exactly the same. I love those for having a nice glow, but not the oil. How old were you when you decided you want to be a makeup artist? It actually says it there. Okay. That's really interesting because I tell people all the time that I did not think I was going to be a makeup artist whatsoever. Don't get me wrong, I've loved makeup since I could probably like reach for it. You can ask anybody that's like grown up with me. I've always loved makeup. Always. I've always just messed around with it, played with it, and just became infatuated with it and just practiced on myself a lot as I got older. But the turning point of when I actually saw that my life was taking a like way different direction was when I actually started to work at my first cosmetic job, which was with Bobbi Brown Cosmetics, and I was a counter artist for them. And I had done makeup on people before, not as much as I obviously do now, but I had the experience of doing makeup on people because it was more of like just a for fun thing. I would just love to do someone's makeup if they asked me to because I love makeup. And when I started working there, I got the experience of actually having clientele, and that's when I knew that this is what I felt like I was put on this earth to do. Like, I knew that this was the way I was supposed to be going about my career, because not only did it make me happy, like I'm literally in a happy place when I'm doing someone's makeup, but I felt like I was, you know, actually given a, I don't want to say gift because that sounds funny, but I knew there was something going on here that I should take advantage of. So I guess you could say the age where I knew and decided to be a makeup artist was when I was 21. I was 21 when I decided that I was going to be a makeup artist.
Like crazy because I just left the gym, but I want to know, what are 3 makeup products that you can't live without? Love you.
Oh, I love you too. Okay, so 3 makeup products that I cannot live without. Okay, primer. I cannot live with primer. I don't know how people to this day sometimes don't use primer. If you don't need it and your makeup lasts like perfectly fine without it, you are blessed. Take advantage of that. Don't take it for granted. I'm a huge believer in primers. I think they make the world of a difference. And along with primers, setting sprays. I could not live without setting sprays. I just cannot. I can't. I also think they have a huge effect on the way your makeup wears. And then the third thing that I cannot live without, eyelashes. I cannot live without I cannot live without eyelashes. I, again, think they make a world of a difference. And unfortunately, I wasn't blessed with naturally pretty eyelashes. They really just up your makeup game like dramatically. So those would be the 3 things that I cannot live without. Okay, Assyria, well, I hope I'm saying it right, but this is what they asked. Best foundation for oily skin. Again, drugstore, L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. Can't go wrong. High-end, Marc Jacobs Remarkable Foundation.
Hello, and I just wanted to ask, how old are you, and what advice do you give to girls who are starting their own YouTube channel?
Okay, so I'm gonna be 23 next month, which I'm like, I can't believe I've already lived for 23 years, but yeah, I'm currently 22, but basically in a month I'll be 23. And advice for girls starting their YouTube channel. So I guess my best piece of advice for you is be confident in whatever it is that you're doing. Even if you feel like a little intimidated or shy or embarrassed or scared. Me and my mom like to like always like say this saying, and it's like fake it till you make it, which I mean, I think to some people can come across as like maybe like a negative thing, like, oh, why are you faking something? But it's not like faking it as for you to be fake, but be confident. Just step back and realize that you're doing something that not a lot of other people would choose to do or have enough courage to do, or they themselves are working on mustering up the courage to do it. So the fact that you're already there or you're wanting to start it already, take pride in that, and that you're doing something really brave, and you're also doing something really fun. This is a really fun thing to do. But yeah, just be confident and have fun. Like, be confident and have fun. Okay, Becky Cantu asked what skincare products you use because your skin looks flawless. First of all, thank you, because I don't consider myself to have flawless skin. Although I will say that my skin has improved immensely over the past few months, because I actually started to use Proactive, which before people start asking me why, because I don't have acne, but it's actually kind of funny. I actually used to use Proactive back in middle school. I had started to use it because I was getting a lot of breakouts on my forehead, and as I got older, luckily they subsided, but of course you get your occasional breakout, at least I do. And of course I have the large pores and my oily skin, yada yada yada. But I stopped using Proactive since then. I actually think I stopped right when I was entering high school, just because I think it just started to become too expensive for me. So I stopped using it. And then when I went to Gen Beauty in LA, the Proactive kit actually came in our swag bag from the cocktail party. And I was like, I ran out of my current skincare, and I was like, well, it's here. I received it as a gift, might as well use it. And yeah, I started using it, and that's actually what I've been using ever since then, which was back in February. So I've been using it for February, and all the way till now, and my skin has honestly never been better. And it's not just even so much with breakouts, but yeah, breakouts have definitely been pushed to the side. I probably have gotten maybe 1 or 2 pimples since I've started using it. And but the clarity of my skin has become really, really improved. So yeah, it's all really been because of the Proactive.
Hi, Catherine.
Hi.
Karina from Chicago.
Ooh,
I wanted to know how long did it take you to start your business, build your clientele? What are your suggestions for one to get started as far as branding yourself and putting yourself out there?
Those are really good questions. And so how I got started with my business and how I built my clientele was, one, I have to say that, you don't have to do this because it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I have to say that my beauty blog at first and the start of my channel drew a lot of attention to my Instagram and social media page. So I started to get a lot of attention on there. And then from there, I started to build my clientele at Bobbi Brown, but not even, like, I can't even say that a big chunk of my clientele still comes from Bobbi Brown. It's really just grown over the course of this year that I've been doing freelancing. But the way you're able to build is you have to put yourself out there constantly. Now, for me, I'm not the only makeup artist in my region. We have multiple talented makeup artists in the South Texas region and then in Texas all over. But I will say that I don't think that the market is as saturated where I live as it is maybe in bigger cities, also such as Chicago, because I can only imagine that there's a lot more attention and growth with makeup artists there. So all the more reason why you need to constantly put yourself out there. And that also ties into branding yourself. The best way to put yourself out there to get recognition is to be consistent. You have to be consistent with anything you do if you want to see results, no matter if it's your business, your health, your fitness, your grades, anything. You have to have consistency. So for me, I learned quickly that in order to see growth in my business, I had to not only do everything that makes you a professional and make sure you always treat your clients very well, handle them with care, but also make sure that my work was being put out there constantly. So pages like Instagram, like Facebook, whatever it is that you like to use, utilize it and post. And even if you think someone's getting sick of seeing your posts, don't think that, because people are following you for a reason. They're obviously following you because they want to see your stuff. So post and post quality content and do the best you can. And you know, when you treat clients a certain way and if your work shows for itself, people will talk and spread the word and everything. And honestly, through word of mouth and Instagram, that's how I built up a lot of my clientele. That's how I get most of my business. My clients are honestly the sweetest and the best, and usually more often than not, it's through recommendation and everything like that. So just put your best foot forward and be consistent.